Cox Business Television, information and insights on the Hampton Roads economic picture. Featuring in-depth interviews, profiles, and the latest publisher spotlight from the newsroom at Inside Business. Exclusively for Hampton Roads, Cox Communications presents Cox Business Television.
Hello and welcome to CB Television, presented exclusively in Hampton Roads by Cox Communications. On this program, we'll bring you the experts, the journalists, and the local business leaders to help us make sense of trends and issues impacting our local economy. This show's about leaders, powering leaders, giving you insights to help you be successful. Today, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What will stimulus recovery and reinvestment mean for businesses in Hampton Roads? That was the topic at a recent executive discussion series, the quarterly panel discussion presented by Cox Business and Inside Business. There we heard from experts about what government money could mean to our local economy. We explored both sides of the equation and looked at what businesses across Hampton Roads could be doing to make the most of this opportunity. Joining me today is Kathy Williams. She's the Business Diversity and Government Administration Manager for Ferguson. She's also the Vice Chair of the Hampton Roads Region Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council. Also with us today is Bruce Grulke, Senior Architect at Clark Nexon Architecture and Engineering. Thank you both for joining me here today.
Thank you, Mike, for having us.
You know, as we were talking on the panel, one of the things that you really highlighted, Kathy, was that we have to do business in a new way during this new economy. Are you seeing any best practices that are emerging?
Yes. What we're seeing with the stimulus money and per what we talked about at the panel are more companies getting together, large companies and small companies teaming together to go after these opportunities. I think prior to the economic downturn in the market, I think it was traditional business as usual. And now with the stimulus money, people have to be more innovative. I think people are understanding they need to re-engineer and retool their companies to be competitive, not only for the stimulus projects, but post-stimulus projects.
Excellent. And from a diversity engagement point of view, is there a specific way or an avenue that minority or women-owned businesses could benefit from the stimulus?
Sure. Most small businesses are made up of women, minority, service-disabled, veteran-owned companies. So as we know that the small business market makes up the majority of American businesses, 95% of that. Right. Therefore, this is a great opportunity for a lot of these companies because they are suffering in this economy. So the stimulus is going to open up a lot of those opportunities. The federal government has, small business programs where 23% of contracts are for small businesses, and then they, break down by the various certifications. So this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for small businesses. Okay.
And are you seeing any of that money starting to flow yet, or are we still a couple months off?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, Mike. Last week, GSA, General Services Administration, released their numbers, and the money has been slow coming from the government, but we're starting to see some movement, but they still have a long way to go with getting some of the contracts and money out.
Great. And Bruce, you were really getting a lot of attention at the panel because what you were talking about were ways the company could go green. Right. Are you seeing any of this stimulus money also being pointed at really green initiatives?
Well, the stimulus money is just a little tip of the iceberg. What we're finding is the same sort of thing. There's a greater incentive for teamwork that has to go on. None of us have the individual answer for making a building green, for example. It's a bunch of people working together and working as a team. And as a result of your last little seminar, we've had groups of people that once a month we get together to kind of find out who's doing what, how can we work together. And it's grown from 2 people to 10 people to 25 people.
Okay. And as you and I were talking really after the panel interview, we're talking about the ROI or the return on investment, and that might be a challenge for people that really don't understand the process. But is there a way that we could help provide some information to some of the business executives so they could plan for how to end 2009 and to go into 2010 in the budget cycle to help in green initiatives?
Yeah, for solar water heaters, we've got that down to a rate of return of less than a 2-year payback. For photovoltaic panels, it's down to 7.9 years. If you combine that with the incentives, all of a sudden you have up to 30% for residential and up to $1.80 a square foot for commercial facilities. And that gives you the down payment for some of these activities or whatever, greening things that you want to do.
Excellent. And as you guys have been working over the last couple of months, are there any, in either one of your spheres of influence, are there any companies or any individuals which maybe we can highlight that can really show that they're doing it right, or that they're someone that we can take the lead from so that we can follow in a path?
I would tell you Bay Electric, that's based in Newport News, they have been engaged in the government work, and I think because of their past experience, they understand all the nuances to do government work, and as a result of that, they're starting to see a lot of the government contracts with the military base. So they obviously would be a great company that has done well.
Neat. Bruce,
we do a lot of work with Bay as well, but Solar Services of Virginia is another one where there's somebody who's out there doing it every day and understands how to do it, understands how to file the forms to get your energy tax credits. He's been very fun to watch in the meetings because everybody else is trying to figure out how to do it, and he's already out there doing it. And it's miles above everybody else.
And are there any collaborations that are maybe going on? I know, like, as you might see in the media, Virginia as a state is trying to consider alternative energies and things like that. Have you all seen any places that where they're through the minority funding of certain programs that there could be a greater collaboration with minority-based businesses and with the green initiatives as we're in an era that might be starting a whole new trend in Virginia?
There's something that's on the horizon here with some lightweight autoclaved aerated concrete, and that's all green jobs. And what we've discovered is that there's a very strong demand for blue-collar workers and for jobs as manufacturing, because that then tends to trickle down and make a lot of things work, like the other people are going to tell you about later.
That's great. Well, and Kathy, any other places that you all see that as a community, do you see us pretty well positioned in Hampton Roads to be able to, to further take advantage of stimulus dollars of any kind, and or any other specific market segments that maybe we can help highlight?
Sure. I think, Mike, in this area, we've been blessed. We are very military rich in this area, and Virginia was one of the big winners to receive a lot of stimulus funds. I think for minority companies, they have to be very progressive, excuse me, as well as very aggressive in pursuing those opportunities. So they're definitely there for them.
Awesome. And is there a timing that either one of you are seeing right now? Is 2009 going to be that year to where it'll be transitioned into, I'll say, better success or more successes in 2010? Are we in that evolution right now that we could really look at 2010 as that year where a lot of things are going to come together, both from the green and some of these other initiatives with you?
I definitely think right now in 2009 is the prep work aspect and building the relationships. I think the money fully will be in the system injected in 2010, and that's when you'll start seeing some more movement of the funds. Yes.
And Bruce, as we kind of close out right now, green is on a lot of people's mind, both from a business perspective and everything else. In just like 5 or 10 seconds, could we are we positioned in Hampton Roads so that we can take advantage of green initiatives?
Yes, and even environmentally, we're very, very well positioned. We don't have intense cooling bills like they do in Miami. We don't have intense heating bills like they do in Maine. We have a little of each, so it makes it possible without too much effort to actually make ourselves green.
Well, guys, I really thank you very much. Thanks for the panel, but also thank you for here. And coming up later in the show, an economics expert from Old Dominion University and the Senior VP from Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce to help us with perspective. Please stay with us.